Hello, great ones. Welcome back to another episode of the Live and Be Great podcast. I'm your host, Latonya McDonald, former therapist turned spiritual psychological life coach, among other things, because, I feel like I'm that girl. I truly am. And I'm not ashamed that I'm multifaceted. And on this episode, I had to bring it back, had to bring back the numerology conversation because I felt some type of way bragging about me being a life path number one without talking about other life path numbers. If you listen to not the episode right before this, but the other episodes, 2 episodes back, talked about what that was like for me being a life path number one. So it was only right that I dedicate this episode for the whole entire gamut of life path numbers in numerology, okay? And I'm going to use real stories from my own life, my friends, family, some clients, so you can feel each number. So here we go. Now, for listeners who just searched what is numerology or numerology basics, I'm going to explain to you what numerology is and how it actually works in real life. And before I get into that, I love using numerology in my coaching services, okay? Because it really helps when even, whether I'm working with individuals, co-parents, couples, that study of you, right? Combining these sciences, combining these esoteric sciences with the numerology, with the psychology, I should say. It's very, very helpful because it just gives me what you're not saying, right? It also helps me put things into perspective on the things that somebody may not be aware, right? Like even when I talked about in my episode about me being a life path number one, I was able to walk you through life stories that now that I had these sciences, right? Not just numerology, but had these esoteric sciences, period, how it specifically helped me make sense as to why I was going through certain things, right? It was just very, very helpful, right? It gives you confirmation, not necessarily, hey, if you do this, or not do this, it's going to be problems, right? But, the confirmation does help you decide that, okay, this is making sense for me. This energy is making sense for me. This actually lights me up, or this doesn't. It makes sense why, things are going the way that they are in my life, or I'm getting pushed back here, or things have been easy for me here. It's just so helpful, right? All of these different sciences, but using it in coaching, it helps me get that perspective for my clients that, like I said, like what they're not saying or they don't know they need to say, or I can like give them an eye opener, aha moment outside of what they've been taught about themselves or what they weren't aware of. It's just so helpful. So, when we talk about life path numbers, right? All of them. It's 1 through 9, and then you have the master numbers 11, 22, and 33. Okay? You get this numerology number by adding up the single digits in your birth date, your birth year, your birth day, and your birth month. Reduce that down to 1 unless it ends up being an 11, a 22, or a 33. Okay. And you can go on different websites. I love an app it's called Numerology. It has like this multicolored triangle. In the background is purple, the Numerology app. I love that app, okay? Because numerology isn't just about, the life path number, but it talks about how your year is going to go, how your days are going to go, what colors you should wear, how your month is going to go, your name, right? Numerology is this big, big study, okay, with just the numbers of how numbers influence your life in every aspect of your life, right? Well, multiple aspects. I don't know about it. No, does it every? It might be every. It might be every. But anyways, so that's numerology, right? How do numbers influence your life? Okay. In the different parts of your life, from your name to your soul purpose, days, months, like I said. Okay. And you guys have to bear with me because I never know if I am making sense. I never know because a lot of the conversations that I have start in my head. So I try to like have a script or have bullet points, but remember that ADHD sometimes has me going off. So if you are a first time listener, okay, bear with me, give me grace, okay? And if you have been a long time listener, thank you. Thank you for taking the chance on me. And, I know you're getting something out of it. So thank you so much because that's why you're still here if you've been a long time listener. But moving forward. So if you just Googled what is a life path number in numerology, the specific life path number is basically your purpose. Like, what is your purpose in life? What do the experiences that you've been experiencing when it comes to the world in your body based off of your perception, your mind, and things of that nature? How does this all make sense, or how does this all lead you to what you were born to do? That is your life path number. And, the different numbers, the different calculations, like when it comes to your name or just a particular birthday, or the particular month you were born, or the particular year you were born, or your last name if you change it, all of that, it just adds to your life path. But the life path is the most important number when it comes to your numerology chart. Now, if someone has just used the life path number calculator, I gave you the app. I gave you, you can go on a website and Google it and things of that nature. Birth line for your numerology birth chart. And in this one, you actually don't need to know what time you're born. So that helps me, especially the clients that don't know what time they're born. I can still pull a chart for them, but there's certain placements, like the house placements, if you know what that means, or the moon sign and ascendant is probably going to be off, but everything else in their full astrology birth chart is going to be accurate. But also that life path number, it helps me a whole lot when I'm trying to teach the client about themselves or give them confirmation on who they are and the things that excite them, right? Okay. But it is the most important because, I say all the time, I look at the esoteric sciences as if you could phone a friend, or for some people, if they can call God or, their ancestors or whoever it is, their higher self. All right. Or look into the future or the past or whatever the case may be. This is that lifeline, the esoteric sciences. But this life path number, this is definitely a game changer. So it really represents, yeah, it really does represent your experience, Got to be going through what you're going through for a reason. I feel like that you try to when you're able to put reasons to why you experience certain things or you perceive light a certain way, there's so much room for growth and understanding, and then that can spark like a motivation, an inspiration to keep going or to actually go after what you want in life, to make sense of your life as to why you keep waking up in the morning, right? New lease on life when you really expect it. So if you're listening to this episode, hey, take this as a sign that this is the time, okay, for you to learn these lessons and really, 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 right, at the time that you can receive it, that's when you're hearing this. All right? It's time. Really, really take that chance. If you're still breathing, you still have a chance to live and be great. So let's see here. I already talked about how I personally get into numerology and life path numbers and how I blend them with my background as a spiritual psychological life coach. I feel like I already talked about that. Yeah. It's just when I can see somebody's destiny, okay, or their purpose and like bring it to the forefront and look at the energy of that number and what it means to have a particular life path number. Okay, now I can hold them accountable. Now I see, wait a minute, okay, so you're supposed to be creative, or you're supposed to be a teacher, or you're supposed to, travel and be free. That's why, you experiencing depression. Or that may be why, if allegedly, I don't know how to properly phrase it, but phrase it in a way to where, okay, let's see if you decide to do the things that are aligned with your life path number, let me hold you accountable and let's help get you there, right? Let's see if it works. And it usually does. It usually does. And I just love it. It's so rewarding to have that anchor or that extra confirmation. That's how I use it. When couples too, like if they're misunderstanding each other, sometimes, yeah, you can go into the psychological part that is perfect, like their trauma and things of that nature, but also their communication styles. It's also in the astrology chart, but in numerology, that gives it takes it to the next level or another perspective as to, okay, if you're both, like for instance, if they're both leaders, probably why they're button heads, and they may need to understand that it's not about one person's way is right and one person's way is wrong, might just be different. So how can we come together as leaders in our household if we have this certain personality type, and maybe be more empathetic towards each other's struggle, each other's need for control, or needs to have an outlet, right? To express themselves, or needs that validation or that confirmation or that extra support by their partner actually knowing what the life path number says and what it means, or that parent knowing to that child, okay, your child's life path number is this. Okay, that's why they have these type of friends, or that's why they're not happy doing it the way that you're doing it, because y'all have two different life paths. So let's support them in this particular space, right? Love it. Love using it. Okay. So when, I talked about the other episode is, when I read my own life path number, I realized, like, wait a minute, this is me. Like, it really changed the way I saw my purpose and my leadership. Well, I've always felt like, why I gotta do it? Like, why can't somebody else do it? But it's because now I know it's because I was born to do it. I am who that is I'm supposed to be. Or how come I see all these broken links in the chain? Or how come I see all the holes in the boats? Like, y'all don't see this? Can somebody else do it? I used to try to run. I used to keep trying to run, all right? And when y'all don't, you will see, especially if you download that numerology app, but you will see that if you ignore your life path, okay, yes, you're gonna keep button heads with life, or I should say, you may keep button heads with life, and you may get dragged back to that life path so you can get back on track. Because I promise, every time I try to point to another leader. Yes, every time I try to point to another leader, or have somebody else do it. Yeah, people still saw me as the leader. It's time that I accept it. So for someone listening and just Googled life path number 1, describe that in a whole episode. I also have a friend, and he's also a life path number 1. And in all the different spaces, me and this person, we met during a play together. He was the first to talk to me. And, this friend stood up for something. Like, stuff wasn't going right in that atmosphere. Okay. When it came to how we were being compensated and being overworked, and he stood on business. Okay. We both saw it, and we both would have conversations with, some of the other castmates about it, but it was just me and him were just like, yep, we see it, Like, this is the issue. And at the end of the day, he was definitely the one to stand up for what he believed in. But we also bump heads. That is that interaction. Sometimes when you have multiple leaders, it can be difficult. And yes, to be a good leader, you do have to learn how to follow. You do. That is true. So yeah, we definitely connected on that. Like, we're usually D1 in our families that people go to. Okay. And he can definitely attest to that. And he's a fire tiger, just like I am. So that's another leadership in Chinese astrology that we have in common. And then I have a dance friend. Okay. She's a Virgo, and she's also a life path number 1. And we've had similar situations to where, I don't know, it seems like oftentimes, even though she's younger than me, she's seen things before I seen them. Okay. And she made a decision, okay, I'm not doing this anymore really quickly. And I remember we had a situation with a contract. Yes, the same like with my guy friend that's life path number 1. Same with this friend. There was an issue with a contract, and she was on it. Like, did y'all read y'all contract? No, we got a contract. Yes, go ask them for your contract. And this and this and this is, they need to change this, and that. And you need to make sure you sign it. Like, leadership. Yes. And I danced with her. And yeah, we've been in situations to where, as soon as we come in, we know what's wrong, right? And the leadership is faulty. And we found each other, and we're grateful, um, to understand, hey, we were meant to do this. We were meant to stand in the front on our own, be independent. Yeah. That's life path 1 energy. And independence, the structure, right? Not just structure, but the motivator, the coach, right? Wonderful. That's that energy. Okay. And then we have the life path number 2. Let's move on. All right. And the life path energy, number 2 energy, is the peacemaker energy, the intuitive energy, the emotionally empathetic energy. Okay. If you are a life path number 2, and my father is a life path number 2, but I also have number, right? Master number 11s, which is my oldest brother, my oldest nephew, and my husband is a life path number 11. Okay. And I would say that, yes, they're good listeners as well. Okay. Definitely good listeners. They are sensitive. Yes, my dad, and diplomatic, right? When I say peacemaker energy, they know how to look at both sides, or to stand in the center. Stand in the center, and under pressure, really, really be the level-headed one in the argument, right? If 2 people are going back and forth or having a disagreement, they step into diplomat mode. Okay. Very, very quickly. And my husband specifically, yes, we can turn the TV off and talk for hours. Part of that is also, he's a Pisces like I am, and good listeners. And we just that's our thing. All right. For sure. Very, 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 very good listeners. Right? Let's see here. What else do we have? Life path number 3. Okay, life path number 3 is the creator, the artist, the dramatic storyteller. And my mom is a life path number 33, which it will have the 3 energy, the 6 energy, and the combination. 3 plus 3 is 6. And I have 2 cousins. I have that life path number 3. And I have a friend that embodies that energy. My mom, she cooks. Hey, she creates crafts, and she used to do pottery. She can write poetry. She can dance. My mom can do it all. She has a book out right now about her trip to Africa. So the trip to Africa, she's using that storyteller. Mom has all the stories. Okay. My cousins, one of them No, actually, both of them do hair. My cousin in New York, that's a life path number 3, she used to do my hair, and when she did it, it never hurt. When she would do the braids, I used to love it. I used to love when I would get my hair done by her, or she would go shopping for me. And, when I have time to go shopping, so she went shopping for me, and I loved everything she picked out. She's also a Taurus. And I have my other cousin, she owns a salon, and she has it's a natural hair beauty salon, and she can sing, and she did my locks, my micro locks. All right, she started my locks for me, my lock journey. Yeah, she's also very, very creative. She's a Cancer. And then my friend that's has that 3 energy, she met her from her being in my sorority. I went to her probate when you crossed, and always, always, always look very, very put together, beautiful. Could be a little extravagant, okay? All the 3s can be a little, a little high maintenance, a little critical, sometimes a little judgmental, right? When they're on the dark side. But listen, listen, listen. Love that energy. And, if that's your life path, number 3, step into that energy, the creator, the artist, the storyteller. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Okay? Go for it. Now, as far as moving on to the life path number 3, I forgot to say, in life path number 2, let me back up a bit. Life path number 2, the politics might be great for you. Diplomat in the arts, that could be good for you. What else is there? So many different things you could do as a life path number 2, but that sensitivity, you could be a therapist, you could be a mediator, positions that require sensitivity, I would say beautiful, beautiful for you. But don't be passive. Don't be emotionally inconsistent when it comes to your energy. Okay? You don't want to do that. But harmony, that's what you want to do with that life path. Any career that involves that will be wonderful for you. Moving on to life path number 4, okay? And life path number 22 also has that 4 energy, but the how would I describe that? Okay, so life hack number 4 sometimes can be a stick in the mud, right? No offense if you're life path number 4, all right? Because we need you, right? They're the structure. They're the builders, that builder energy, that stability, that organization. All right. Yes, they're also, that's also a leadership number as well. But. I have a brother that is a life path number 4, and no, he kind of rubs people the wrong way. He kind of does. But when I say structured, okay, been at the same job for I don't know how many years. That could also be because he's a Capricorn. But that number 4 energy, dependable, yeah, definitely dependable and reliable. For sure. For sure. And they do have hearts, right? It come off a little, a little critical too, as well. A little critical as well. Um but how you use it, right? How you use that organization skill, that stability, it's just about how you use it. They can invent things. They are also very, very creative in what they build. And I also have my mother-in-law. I love her to pieces. I love her, love her, love her so much. She's also number 4, and she is, her health hasn't always been the best, but for someone else, and she's also Pisces, but for someone else, she'll find the strength from somewhere. Okay? She will find the strength from somewhere to make it right for you, to help you organize your thoughts and your dreams, your aspirations. I love talking to her when I'm able to about my different ideas, very, very open. To me, they love routines. Like, be on the phone and a certain time hit and she's like, okay, it's time to eat dinner. Let me go ahead and get off this phone and, make sure everybody can eat or whatever case may be. Love tradition, right? By the book type of people. They do need to learn how to relax a little bit, just a little bit, but very, 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 very good of helping you get your life back together in the chaos. Okay? When it's time to get that kick in the butt, all right, and you need to get out your own way, that four energy is sometimes is exactly what you need. They're not always the favorite because they can be a little rigid, right? But the structure, it really, really, it does protect us. And that is their life path and what they're here to learn if you're life path number 4. Next, moving on, we have the life path number 5. If you're a listener, you just found out that you are a life path number 5. All right. What does that freedom seeker energy look like day to day? And yeah, the freedom seeker loves to travel, loves to always move, make things beautiful. Usually are beautiful. They also carry that sexual energy. That persuasive energy. Life path number 2 does too as well. But the life path number 5, can really, really light up the room with their energy. And I have a best friend, okay, one of my best friends that I've had since I would say 19. Met her in college, and she's a life path number 5. Okay. And yes, when she is not happy, she will make some stuff shake. She will bounce. She will leave. She's not the type, even if she would stay in the same profession, because she's also a therapist at one point, and now she's no longer a therapist because she's over it, right? She ready to move on to the next thing. So proud of her for doing that. Definitely she has no problem with shifting careers, shifting workplaces, traveling. That's one thing she will do is travel. She makes travel a priority, and I love that. Love that about her. I mean, it can be a struggle. Like if you have been taught to follow rules all of your life, and you have at life hack number 5. Okay. Very, very, very difficult. Okay. But you gotta go after that joy at the end of the day. You have to. In life path number 5, they teach people how to fight for their joy no matter what, at any cost. Okay. And listen, you might need to get into some entrepreneurship or some freelancing or some independent contractor types of situations. And they're also very, very creative. She's very, very creative when it comes to the arts and that movement. She was on a track team, like all of that. They learn a lot through experience, through seeking out what it is for themselves. All right. So those careers will definitely, careers that involve that freedom will be wonderful for them, that involve movement, change, adventure, spontaneity, right? Yeah, that traveler and freedom. Remember that about life path number 5. Okay, moving on to life path number 6. Number 6 is the nurturer in numerology and the family oriented in numerology, the community keeping the glue. That's life path number 6. And um my mom and I have a former client, okay, and they are the ones you can call on to fix things. I could never, like with my mom specifically, and she's a life path number 33, but remember that 33 has a 3, the 6, and the 33 energy. But she definitely, if we are stressed about something, my mom find a way out of nowhere, literally superhero when it comes to her family. And my client was also that way. Like they're the ones that definitely you can also depend on them for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. And, you know, they yeah, their love is powerful, but the dangerous part is they often can neglect themselves. which is for sure an issue when it comes to the life path number 6. Their family, sometimes they can be so much about family, they forget themselves in the process, or so much about a caretaking and being that emotional support system, they forget and they neglect themselves. Now, my client, hey, her being part of this process, she's doing what every life path number 6, every life path should do. But that number 6, for sure, you need to have a space, okay? Don't let people drain you. But it's okay. Be that healer, be that community leader, the one that gets people together. You can be that therapist, whatever the case may be, but don't neglect yourself or overextend yourself. If you are a life path number 6, you're needed now. We need that nurturing. We need those babysitters, those parents, that parenting energy in so many different aspects of human life. The fixer will find a way out of no way. Everybody needs that. Everybody needs that. But for sure, you cannot pour from an empty cup. My life path number 6. So don't do that. Don't, okay? Let's go to life path number 7, the mystic, the wisdom. All right. And when it comes to the life path number 7, for the life path number 7 souls who are listening, I've learned from, I would say, my father-in-law. I have another best friend who's also a Virgo. We are aligned sisters, sorority sisters. And I have 2 dance friends. One is a Capricorn, one's an Aquarius, that are number 7s. My father-in-law is a Pisces. But they have always been open to conversation that's out of this world. That, when you first see them, you're not going to know. When you first look at them, you're not going to know that this is what they do, because they don't really. I've noticed that life path number 7s, if they don't know their life path number 7s, or they haven't yet answered their spiritual calling, or that step to that spiritual side of them, they look like regular, everyday, quiet, introverted people. They're definitely introverted. They have the introverted energy for sure. And oftentimes they'll have these big ideas that are out of the box, that are about spirituality, or maybe just looking at things from another perspective. And oftentimes they'll dumb themselves down. They won't say anything, and they'll just let other people take the floor, because they often feel like nobody's going to understand them anyways. So why? I don't even want to try, even though this person is talking about something that is not really of interest to me, or been there, done that. I already made my mind up about this. I wish they could just take this idea over here. I feel like this will elevate them. They usually keep that to themselves. So you could be, around a life path number 7 and feel like you don't know who they are, right? It's because of that. They're just used to being on the inside, that solitude energy. They need that. Their social battery is very, very low. It may seem high when they first show up, but they're going to get to yawning way before everybody else. Or especially if, the conversation is not stimulating enough, and we're not going here, and everywhere else. Okay? Yes, social battery low, get bored easily type of people, because they kind of hold everything close to the vest. But they definitely, I feel like these individuals, father-in-law, remember we had a 3-hour conversation on astrology. I was teaching about the astrology and the charts and things of that nature. And my father-in-law was actually looking at the chart and asking me about things on the chart. Like, what does this line mean? And this is, I'm like, wait a minute. I usually don't get that from anybody, but these life path number 7s, right? But it was so intriguing, inspiring, and, wonderful to have that connection with him, to the point where he's like, I want to learn for myself. And they do. At number 7s, they will dive into a spiritual something. Once you open it and they resonate, they will go and they want to learn for themselves. They're not afraid to do that. And I love them for that. So if you're in life path number 7, answer your spiritual calling. Okay, you are intuitive. All right, you have gifts. It intrigues you for a reason. Open it up and teach it. Bring it to the people that you were like, hey, they just need this little shift. Bring it to them. All right, they have very old soul energy, and yeah, I adore them. I definitely do. Next, we have life path number 8. Life path number 8. I have a nephew who is a Scorpio, and he's also a basketball player. And my husband's best friend, she's a Scorpio. She's also a life path number 8. And I had a client that was a life path number 8. If you've just discovered that, and they have power in money. They have power in transformation. Okay. That's that CEO, another leadership number, that CEO. I am willing to face all the hard things to make this, whatever this is, transform whatever space I'm in into greatness. They got that CEO mind. They naturally born like that. And when it comes to making money, they have been said to have a permanent spiritual guardian. You know, a lot of people got to call on theirs, got to summon theirs. Path number 8, that spiritual number, that's another spiritual number. That life path number 8, right there. And if you're listening to this, you probably feel them. You probably feel that spiritual covering that you have, that guardian angel that you have that is always with you, especially if you're thinking about that. I'm not going to be afraid to go where I need to go to make this transformation or to help this person or whatever the case may be, right? Because it's time and I want to see some success. You probably put yourself into some dangerous situations and you made it out, okay? You made it out quicker and in better shape than a lot of other people, possibly based off of you being that life path number 8. And yes, my client that was in life path number 8, she's actually a Sagittarius. And, that was the client that I remember I asked her about her having her own business. She's a nurse, and she said that she didn't know that she could dream that big. That empathy. When she said that, that's something that I always, like, when I try to teach people about how to be more empathetic or to be more understanding or to not take people's downfalls or ignorance so personal, is there's people that don't know, right? Like, shoot, y'all, some of y'all that's listening didn't know nothing about numerology, and now you do know, but I'm empathetic to, okay, what do you do with the information, what you have it, and you can give yourself even more grace and more empathy because if you did not have the information before and you have it now, right? Give yourself grace for not knowing better, okay? For not knowing better, but that 8, that 8 number, a lot of times you are hitting certain pitfalls because you are not the CEO and you're constantly transformation. It could be a painful number. It could be one of the hardest life path numbers ever. I'm not even going to take that lightly, but if you are a life path number 8, your journey specifically, it really does have my pain is going to help somebody else because I was not afraid to go after it and face the darkness. And I have protection. Know that you've been protected and you can continue, but take those chances on yourself, right? Take those chances on yourself in your dreams and your aspirations, not just when somebody else needs you. Don't be power hungry now. You got power now. And you could be very, very disciplined, right? That 4 energy is disciplined as well, but you can be very, very disciplined. And yeah, it's very, very, very helpful. And money. Don't worry about money. Y'all always got money. Okay? It always, whatever goes around comes around. 8 also represents the infinity sign. It is a number of endings as well. Transformation until you cut off or you get rid of that former version of yourself. That karmic number 8. Now we have life path number 9, and that is the humanitarian. And I have a brother who's a Virgo. There's a brother right before me, and I have a niece, and she's a Pisces like I am, and Virgos and Pisces are sister signs. So even though they're opposites, they have a lot of similarities, right? When it comes to how they move. But number 9, okay, their lesson is that love is universal. They have a global mindset, an inclusive type of mindset, right? Which is, I think is beautiful. I think it's very, very beautiful, but sometimes it could be to their detriment. And, they're of service. They do want to help. They have a lot of compassion. Sometimes they cross them. And 9 is also a Sagittarian number. And yes, the Sagittarians don't know nothing about your boundaries, okay? No, 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 no such thing for them. But that can kind of rub people the wrong way a little bit, that 9 energy, because they are kind of like, let's get to the point, right? You ever heard about the doctor that's good at what they do, but the bedside manner can use a little work? When you think about life path number 9, I want you to think about that. Okay, just a little work, right? If you are life path number 9, you just found out. We need you, and oftentimes you'll be the first one to get it, to understand what needs to be done so that the mission can go forward. But it's how you say it. All right, and charge it to their head, not their heart, with those life path number 9s, because they mean well. They're not always the first person you want to go to with your issues because they're very direct, and the anxiety it does come from a softer place, okay? It does. It comes from a well-meaning, I want to be able to help you, but I don't know if I can. And right now I don't know how. That's why it's coming off a little harsh, a little brash, not mincing my words right now, right? But they mean well. They definitely mean well. And, I want them to learn that, hey, if somebody doesn't appreciate you, you can cut them off, okay? You can cut them off, let them go, all right? But I want to thank them. They always show up for everyone. And sometimes, listen, some things are just for you, life path number 9. Like, you don't have to always include everybody in the conversation. You are special, okay? You don't have to pick everybody else up just for you to enjoy the things that were meant for you. It's okay to have those boundaries and set aside personal time for things that you enjoy, or spaces you enjoy, or people you enjoy. That's for sure their personality. Like, my niece wants to include everybody, and I'm like, girl, it's supposed to be Pisces time right now. Come on, baby. Like, no. No, okay. And unfortunately, they do end up having to learn the hard way, and I hate that for them. But I think with them learning the hard way, hopefully they'll learn that, hey, you are valued, and what you say, it does matter. But give it to the people who actually appreciate you. Give it to the people who are actually pouring back into you, okay? And show up. Show up. Don't just be attracted to people you need to fix. Sometimes, it's good to get love and support from people who have their stuff together and don't want for nothing, or just want to pour back into you. Now let's get to these master numbers. So I kind of explained, briefly the dual energies or the triple energies they may have, right? And um when it comes to the master number 11, right? If you just found out you was a master number 11, that energy shows up in my husband. I have a brother and I have a nephew, okay? And when I say they are psychic, they're intuitive, they're supportive, because remember, 11 carries that 1 energy, the 2 energy, and the 11 energy, right? I feel like if me and my husband, my husband didn't have the double ones, we probably butt heads all the time. Even though what we butt heads on, we not saying we don't butt heads, but it'd probably be worse. It'd probably be like me and my friend, homeboy, that's a life path number 1. because yeah, that 2 energy, if he can when he steps into that 2 energy is very, very helpful. That 2 energy, but, having a partner that listens, having a partner that gets you that correction, right? Wanting to not just correction, but yeah, because it is a correction number, that one part of them, but the double one is basically me times 2. Well, not in the mathematical sense. As 1 times 1 is 1, but, okay, me plus 1. I guess we can do it that way. But anyways, yes, Bastard Lovers 11, you have to change the world, okay? If I have to be a leader, you got to do it on an astronomical world global sense. Life path 11. And if you look at the famous numbers, I might take a little time to just run through the most famous ones, or you guys can Google it. But those life paths, number 11s, like I don't know how y'all are able to work under people. I don't know how I don't know how you ever do that. If you change jobs a lot, or if you butt heads with leadership, if you have an emotional response to leaders not doing what they're supposed to do, like to the point where like it really, really bothers you, you wanna take action to that point, listen, yeah, you're supposed to do that, like, it's supposed to. And my brother, he is an entrepreneur, which I love that. He has a dance company, and, he's the oldest. It's my oldest brother. That's a life path number 1, but he has that 2 energy, and yes, he can mediate for sure. He can mediate, but he'll also take charge, okay, with a quickness in what he wants to do or what he feels like will benefit the family. And my nephew, who is a life path number 11, I would say he's the strongest person in our family because his situation, being raised by my mom and him being my firstborn nephew, the oldest, and his struggles with autism and things of that nature, and sometimes not feeling supported. He's also a Leo. His journey, like, I could never, but I know it has purpose, and when he smiles, he really, really lights up the room. And he's always been, very understanding in his own way. If you tell him about yourself, always, wondering about other people, very caring. Okay. He is such a gift. He is such a gift. And, he's the reason why I became a therapist. Not knowing that he's a life path, nothing. Okay. I became a therapist and I know not none of this stuff. But life path 11, yeah. Y'all better step into it. Step into those positions that make change. Okay, I call my husband Mr. Shutdown because he he be ready. I know I'm a leader, I'll be ready, but when I say he be ready to, dump the whole ship and start over. That's his energy. And I love him for it. And he's going to change the world. He's going to get there. Y'all help me manifest and support him in that. Because, yeah, he's awesome. Now we have life path number 22. And we call life path number 22 the master builder. The master builder who dreams big and actually builds what they envision. All right. And for that master number 22, I would say that, this episode getting long. Okay. For this master number 22, I have a friend that's a number 22, and I have a nephew. And when I say they go after what they want, they can have anxiety about, something that is very, very normal, or that they can have anxiety about basic stuff that a lot of people don't have anxiety about, right? But the hardest stuff, right? When they put their mind to it, that's where they shine. Like the stuff that you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, you're like, absolutely not. That's not my ministry. Number 22s, they will do it, and they will make sure that if you tell them what your vision is, they're going to point out the map really quickly on how you're going to be able to get it done with such prestige, with such is the word confirmation with such conviction is gonna make sense. I remember my nephew, I showed him a dance video and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Auntie, you're really good at dancing." This was in 2022. Recently. It was in 2022, I showed him the video and he's like, "And you did all that with a mask on? You're really, really good." And I was like, "Yeah, and I got followers." He was like, "You should be posting. What's wrong with you? You should be posting. You should be recording yourself." Because I didn't record myself. The instructor recorded me. And I think it was my first day returning back to the studio after not dancing for so long. And they gave me a solo, learn the routine. I know she was just like, you need to post on TikTok. You need to you need to record yourself, okay? Because you're really good at what you do, and this is how you need to do it. So whenever I need my little kick in the behind or some little motivation, I call my nephew. What is it? He's like, he should be 20. Did he turn 22 this year? No, he's 23. I think he turned 23 this year. But like, he's awesome when it comes to that, right? And just life path number 22. Build your stuff. Build the life that you want. You have it, okay? Don't just do it for other people. You have it. You've probably been doing it. Continue on that path, all right? Because we need you. And yes, if you're a master number, you have to do this life path thing. For all master numbers, have to do this life path thing on a grand scale, like to the point where you get recognition, okay? Then I get recognition, right away. But whatever that is, that master builder or that intuitive, that prophet, that transformation, whatever the case may be, if you're a master number, all right, do it on a grand scale. You don't have to. But 22 has that 2 energy, that 4 energy, and, the 22 energy. So if you go back, look at that, it's a combination of all of that. That's why you got to do stuff on a grand scale, not just, we're the only ones that know about it. Do it on a grand scale, please. And the last master number is 33. Okay, 33, 33, 33, known as the master teacher. Some people call it the Jesus number, 33. I had another best friend. He's a Taurus. My mom is a Leo. She's a 33. I've been talking about her when we talked about threes, when we talked about sixes, because 33 has those energies. And my mom has always, right now, she is mentoring young men at the juvenile correctional facilities and teaching them spiritual studies and things of that nature. And she's always been like that. And remember that 3 creation, that 6 family oriented. I already talked to y'all about that. That's her. That healing energy, the healing, the uplifting. That's that life path number 33 energy. And told y'all, mom make a way out of no way. All day, every day. For them, they're the master teacher. To teach is to show love, right? She has no problem with teaching people how to do things. Also, my other best friend, the Taurus, he works in the educational system, in the financial department at a college, at a university. That's been his thing, and he definitely puts family first. He's helping one of his nieces through school right now. They're great at coaching you, through your journey, right? Don't tell them you're afraid to do something, because they gon' 33 is gonna make sure they might be afraid to do something, but they gonna make sure you ain't, okay? And it's going to be, so beneficial for you and your growth. When they're not in alignment, they could be very, very bitter. When they're not in alignment, when they're not loving themselves, and to love people deeply, you have to be willing to heal deeply for these master teachers, for these healers, for these love people, these. You have to, okay? We need you to do that for yourselves. And you're out there, when they're out of alignment, they do get sick. They do get sick. But yeah, he is definitely a mentor. He probably has, I don't know how many godchildren he has, but he is the one. okay, that people depend on, that I love and I appreciate. We coach each other, we both have that type of spirit, that type of energy um in us. Yeah. 33 grand scale. Your community needs to know your name, needs to know who you are based off of your service, your spiritual service, your emotional, your mentoring, that gift. All right. We need you. Okay. And yeah, so that does it for all of the life paths. So listen, this is what you're going to get if you sign up with me as a coach. All these different sciences that I incorporate in my coaching to help you live your best life while you still have time. Not just live, not just going through the motions, but to live and be great. I do this for my individuals, my couples, families, the co-parents that work with me. I weave this in rather than offer, I don't offer separate numerology readings, but listen, when I get that information, it helps me help you, but also you have me as a witness. You need a coach to have as a witness to hold you accountable for the things that you were destined to do, right? Because when I tell them what what their charts are, what their charts say, and I see that sparkle, okay, you can't go back to hiding it now. You can't go back, and we all need that support with somebody who reminds us who we are at the end of the day and really, really make sure, that they walk with us along that journey. Okay. And, parents can use this. If you have a child that's, a 5, a 7, 11, like whatever. 5, freedom. They not listening to the teacher because they're bored, probably bored, probably need to be doing something creative. Number 7, they probably don't, if the church is fake, they don't want to go no more. That's why they probably supposed to be leading the church. Or, those are the ones you're supposed to allow to explore, or those might be the ones who have spiritual gifts. We all have spiritual gifts, but they may have tapped into them early, naturally. Don't shun them, right? Or if you have a child that's an 11, they got to change stuff on a grand scale. They have to. Y'all can look up the celebrities in their life paths and just see the ones on light side or dark side based off of how they show up. Certain things people just cannot hide, even though when people show up, they usually show up as their representative. They usually show up how they want people to see them. But these charts don't lie. All right. They really, really give you perspective and confirmation, and you can help your self, you can help your children, you can help your partners, you can help your friends, whoever it is, when you have this other element and within their spiritual development and their emotional development. The life path, the purpose. Use it, look it up. Get into it. You have nothing to lose by looking it up. And then also what patterns I've noticed when it comes to numerology and compatibility in families and couples. Hey, I know my therapist, we went through his numbers, and just about everybody in his family is a life path number 1 except his wife, and he got a billion children. I won't say a billion, but he has a lot of children. They all like path number 1s. So you can see why, everybody might be in there. There's a whole full house of ego right there, bumping heads and stuff like that. But, even in the families, if you have multiple life path number 1s, or people have different life paths, right? You can see why they're butting heads, or, hey, this kind of explains why this person may be unhappy in their job or unhappy in their, and, and with their spiritual journey or their trauma or whatever the case may be, that affect how they move, or why this person gets annoyed, or why this person can't read the room and they just come out of here and say this, right? It really, really, really does help. It doesn't excuse it because there's a light and dark side, but it really, really does help build that compassion and that grace and that confirmation when trying to mend and heal those families and couples. Like, Yes, we can grow together if we have a better understanding of first ourselves as individuals, give grace to ourselves, and then we can give grace to each other. Okay, so this episode has been long enough. For listeners who are now curious about their life path number and how it connects to their healing, tips, parenting, next steps, working with me, go to my website, sign up for a free consultation. Okay, all right. So you don't got to do this on your own. So you don't have to remember all this information. I got you. Okay? If you work with me, I got you. It's part of the process. All right. And if you do want to go deeper into the numerology, the spiritual psychology, and relationships healing with me, you can find me on liveandbegreat.com. All right. Sign up for your free consultation. Okay. Listen to podcasts. You're going to learn something. Follow me on the social media platforms on the TikTok as Latonya. No, it's Live and Be Great _ Latonya. On the Instagram and the YouTube, you find me on, Live and Be Great with Latonya. Threads, all of that. I'm trying to do better. I'm doing better. I'm trying to do better with the social media thing, okay? I am. I'm working on it, right? I'm working on it. So 4 year for me. So this year has been me creating systems and testing out these systems. My head, like I've been working every day. 4 year, remember that 4? Organization, structure. Okay. Relationships ain't been the best. I would do better. But yeah, that's what it is. And I really, really hope you've taken away from this episode, you guys. If you're listening, wherever you're listening, follow me, subscribe, and continue to give yourself permission to live and be great. Until next time, y'all. Thank you for listening.